January 5th. Yeah?
January 5th.
Did I do it? I
2024.
did it. It's a first Friday in downtown Delaware. I think is it 16 degrees out right now?
It is. Yeah, it's horrible.
It's very cold.
Ridiculous.
But tonight's first Friday, as I've been told, is a s'mores fest. So there will be burn barrels throughout the downtown, and you can stand by the burn barrel. You can go to the Main Street Delaware Welcome Center. I don't know if the First Ladies of First Friday are going to talk about it with the city show, but
I bet they better.
There's a little tease for you. Yeah. So come to downtown Delaware and don't freeze your tuchus off. Right? I like them just like moderately brown. I'm not yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't like s'mores. I don't like fires either. I know, I'm sorry. My hair is the problem because my hair is very curly and I only wash it infrequently. And if I am by a fire once, my hair will smell like fire for the rest of my life.
I will refuse to wash certain clothes so that I can smell.
Ugh, no. I hate the smell. No.
And I can start to keep a fire in the ring.
Can you really?
I really can.
Wow.
I did an outpost camp for 2 years, and we didn't eat if we didn't start a fire.
Okay.
So I had little kids, a male co-counselor, and 3 meals a day on an open flame fire.
Molly Myers LaBadie, the outdoor lady.
How about that?
Look at you.
I may not run fast, but you should save me from the zombies.
Yeah.
Because I have some
I will.
skills.
You do.
I
I
will.
have some skills.
I will. I'll toss the princess off to the side.
I'm
then.
happy. No, I don't want to live in a world with zombies. I've had this conversation many times. If the apocalypse is coming, like, take me. I'm
Good.
done.
Okay. All right.
No, I'm ready.
No.
I'm ready, and I will have my own utopia somewhere that I'm not going to name because you're all going to try to come.
Okay. All right. Well, you enjoy that, living with zombies.
It's good to know, though. I just need to shove you into them.
Oh.
That's helpful for me.
I mean, I take that as a life experience. Like, who else can say that they've become a zombie?
True.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Probably
I'm gonna
many
avoid
people
that.
at that point.
So,
I'm there with you. Molly. Right on.
I'm ready
Gotcha.
for this.
Cool.
I mean,
You and I together.
we've got this.
I feel like we've got our 2024 like predictions like set out in front of us. Like, you guys are gonna become survivalists. I'm gonna just like live life like it's my last day. And
My other plan is, you know how many books and shows I've watched about cults this year?
Yeah.
So I am planning to start one.
oh, right,
Me
right.
too.
I know, this is
Awesome.
crazy. Like, I feel like
Oh.
I have a guidebook.
Yeah.
It's going to be about cats and yarn.
Oh, well, I wasn't going there, but I guess, yeah.
I mean, I just think I can get a lot of people to follow me.
Uh-huh.
And
Cat
just
fans.
already, I don't even have to be the cult leader if we have cats.
That's
They
true.
are the natural cult
They
leader.
are the
Sure.
leaders. Yeah. Mark, are you the leader?
Huh.
Are you the cult leader, or the
Well,
cult follower?
I wanted to be, but if there's going to be cats involved, this
There are
does
cats
change
involved.
things a little
Okay.
bit.
All right.
So,
I'm going to save all the hordes and do
Uh-huh.
it right.
Okay.
did you say hordes?
Hordes, yeah.
Okay.
Get all the places where people have hoarded cats.
Okay, the hordes. Yes,
The
at the
hordes.
hordes.
Get it correct.
The hordes of zombies. I see that on Walking Dead. The
Cats,
hordes
I
are
also
coming.
think will protect us from zombies, but it's a whole plan. Don't worry. There's a long-term end to this.
We
You
are
thought this out. I
so
love that.
off the rails.
We spend a lot of time. What are you
What?
talking about?
Welcome to the library show here,
I
everybody.
know, right, guys? You're listening to Off the Shelf. It's fine.
This is what I'm living in.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's talk books. Let's
Boring
talk-
librarians. Sheesh.
No, books are entertaining.
Yes,
My
they
book
are.
is spicy this morning.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but we'll start with Molly's book, which I heard is cozy and still Christmassy.
I'm talking about all this. So I finished another cozy Christmas mystery. But really, I just have been in the mood. It's been too many. I do agree. But we started the year with A Killer Christmas Wish by Lynn Cahoon. This book's great for all of you who want to be authors yourself or writers or really into that idea. So our main character, Kat, lives in the house she got with her ex-husband, who then was later murdered. There's a whole mafia thing in the middle of all this in this small college town. It's where mafia kids go to school, but that's
Oh.
a secret.
Yeah, cool.
Her fiance is upset because she's hung out with Damien, her ex-husband who's dead's fiance. And she's running a writer's retreat where the second person has died during one of her retreats.
Wow.
And they just keep going with the writer's retreat. So I was in. I was like,
Yeah.
Nobody was even phased. People were like, oh, Dan, well, we just rode in the bus with him. We're fine. He died, probably murdered, and you're in.
Yeah.
And they just kept focusing on their writing.
Right.
I honestly... If you are where I am, you don't know what the day of the week is. You don't know what's going on around you. You're just still riding that Christmas glow, that holiday, like New Year's, thing. You see it ending. Your decorations are coming down, but you're just wanting something to get lost in for a minute.
Yeah.
Reality's not there, but the story is a lot of fun. It's a ride. If you are somebody who cannot handle when a fact or reality maybe wouldn't work. This is not a fantasy. It's just somebody having a lot of fun in her writing.
What is it? You need to suspend disbelief.
A little disbelief on this one.
Suspend disbelief, and you just need to go with it.
But if you just want to get lost, to me, it's just one of those little communities. Everybody, of course, knows everybody. Everybody's suspicious of everybody.
Of course.
There are some nice little twists and turns. It was the perfect get lost book for me. Remember, I love those, though, so I do realize sometimes when I'm reading them, this is not the book for all of you.
Yeah.
Because there are little things where if you get caught up with, okay, her uncle just came in, nobody even put caution tape up, this is probably not your
Stop
book.
touching the crime scene.
But if you're like, yep, I'd keep writing in a house and just forget some guy was murdered upstairs in the room next to mine, you're in it with me.
As much as I love another author, Alex Michaelides, as much as I love his book, he did The Silent Patient and The Maidens. And the thing that drives me crazy, though, is that his protagonists are therapists and they insert themselves into these crimes. And I'm like, no, that would not happen. So I do have a problem with that. And that's like
I do not. That's why I'm warning you. This is not your book.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no way that no, she is meddling and nobody would allow this. And the kibosh should be put on that very quickly.
So if you don't want to live through a zombie apocalypse, don't read this book. If you do, there are no zombies in it. But clearly it's the kind of thinking that the rest of us have.
Yeah. Well, I went in I guess it's not a similar direction by any means as far as genre, but just, trashy reading to get me
something
to
light.
The next thing.
Yep.
And so I decided to pick up the second book in the Dark Olympus series, and it is called Electric Idol by Katee Robert.
Nice.
And this is a series that takes place in Olympus, but it is not. The characters are not necessarily gods, even though they kind of mirror what we know of Greek gods.
Yes.
And so basically you have your big three. You have Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades.
Yes.
You have the other names that you know. You have Aphrodite, and you have Demeter, and you have just, all the other ones that you know about.
All of them traditionally bring on drama.
Hera, exactly, of course. But in this world, they are human, so they can die, and their titles are their names. So I am Zeus, that is my title, and I have my child, and he is, I forget what Zeus's son is named, Perseus. And then whenever I die, my son will become Zeus, and I will inherit that title.
Okay.
So the titles are passed down. Sometimes the titles are also like won in maybe a public election. So somebody has been elected Aphrodite, or somebody has been, actually Aphrodite wasn't elected. Some people are appointed. So the titles, you assume that role when you're given that title. And so that kind of adds another fun layer of like drama and political aspirations to it, because there are people who want certain titles. And so Zeus, the Zeus of the first book, kept killing off his wives. And so we kept having to find new Heras. And you can imagine how desirable that title was.
Oh, yes.
And then in this book, we still are looking for a new Hera, and Aphrodite is taking on that role because as the goddess of love, she is to find, all of the matchmaking. And then her son, Eros, of course, is like Cupid. That's Roman god Cupid. And Eros is to pin the matches and to put them together. Well, little did we know, as the book opens and Zeus is having one of his over-the-top parties, Demeter is trying to have her daughters, who Persephone's already been married off to Hades.
Sweet.
So she's trying to have Callisto or Psyche become the next Hera. So she wants the power grab to get them hooked up with Zeus. And Aphrodite is not having it. Well, Psyche is over the party. And so she decides to leave the party. And as she's leaving, she sees Eros. So now we've got the son and daughter of the two people who are kind of feuding over who's going to fix up the next Hera.
Yes.
So Psyche leaves and sees Eros in the hallway, and he's a little beat up. She looks at him and she's like, "Is that blood on your collar?" Which would be very inappropriate for this.
Very
type of
inappropriate.
party. And he's like, "Oh shoot!" And she realizes he's not in his best state of mind. In this interpretation, Eros, rather than striking people with the arrow of love, he more so strikes people, period, because he is Aphrodite's go do my job, go do my dirty job, son. And so, Psyche says, well, let me get you cleaned up. And so they go and she gets them cleaned up and they realize that there's maybe a little bit of a spark there.
Ooh.
But of course that can't be seen because their mothers are mortal enemies.
Yes.
And so they decide.
Little Romeo and Julieting here.
A little. And so they decide that when they're leaving the bathroom, that they can't be seen together. But oops, the paparazzi is there. They're photographed, and now what are they to do of it? Aphrodite sees the photograph and decides she needs Psyche out of the picture.
Of course.
And Eros goes to take care of it, as he always does, but he can't because he's in love with her. Actually, he's not in love with her. He's just really, really, really drawn to her. So they spark a plan, and the plan is that they need to have a forced marriage, a fake relationship, because that would bring her close enough into the family that she might be protected from his mother's wrath at that point.
Nice.
And so Psyche's options are death or a forced marriage with a beautiful man. And I bet you know which one she takes.
Death, right? It's got to be death.
I'm going to say Katee Roberts knows how to write a romance. She knows how to write some steam.
How many chili peppers?
It's a 5 out of 5.
Ooh,
It's a 5 out of
spicy.
5 chili peppers. So we're hearing all the things. We're doing all the things. It's a spicy book.
It is not one of my normal crush type situations. Know what you're walking into.
Yep, exactly. So 5 chili peppers. And yeah, you will enjoy it. I like the world building in this one. So there's not a lot of plot really happening. I kind of gave you the setup, and then there's not too much happening after that. But that's it. So I would recommend Electric Idol by Katee Roberts. And with that, we are going to take a break. On the second half of the show, we're talking about some back to school second semester resources that you are not going to want to miss out on. So if you're a parent, an educator, a caregiver of any child, you're going to want to listen up. Stay tuned.
And you're listening to Off the Shelf on My 96.7.
Welcome back. It's just Nicole and Molly today. We're talking about some books, some New Year's fun, some ways that we can
survive zombie
apocalypses. Yeah, it's just
a regular
a
day.
Yeah,
just a regular day in my life.
Just a regular day. But the fun thing that we're talking about this second half of the show is we have a resource. It is called Brainfuse.
This one's important.
Yeah, if you haven't heard about it, we introduced this back in 2020. We really buckled down on what our digital resources were offering for students. Because when students were going into digital learning and buildings weren't open and helpers weren't getting together in person, we were like, what can we do to help with this? And so we found Brainfuse, and it is just this massive, massive tool that you get free with your library card.
And it's just there to sort of be your backup. Let's face it, COVID made education and learning hard for like everybody. And so this is a great tool to help you where you feel like you're still trying to catch those things up. There's so many avenues and people they can help.
Oh, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about, if you're listening and you're thinking like, well, who is this for? It is literally for everyone. So we were talking about, let's say you have a 7th grader.
Yes.
And they are working on, what are they trying to figure out, Molly?
They are trying to figure out a solar system report, and they're trying to make sure that the information you have at home is correct and that they're writing this correctly for their teacher's assignment.
Maybe your Encyclopedia Britannica that you purchased
In
back
1995.
In 1995, exactly. maybe it still has Pluto, you know?
Yes, as a planet.
Maybe, yeah, exactly. Maybe it has a little bit of outdated information. Well, you can do one of two things. You said you're maybe writing a paper.
Yes.
So as part of Brainfuse, there is a writing lab. So you can submit your paper. Any student of any age can submit their paper to the writing lab. They can submit their paper along with the original prompt, which is asking for, what the assignment is.
Yep.
And then a person will review that paper and help them with like grammatical errors, spelling errors, other things that maybe don't quite make sense. This sentence isn't supported by this statement. If it was supposed to be, you're a 7th grader, so maybe you're writing in a, hypothesis, ABA, closing kind of format.
Yes.
So, and that could be dated as well. See, I don't even know because I'm so far out of it. But that person will be up to date on these standards. You'll submit it to the Writing Center. You'll get it back usually within 24 hours.
When I went to grad school, my high school and undergrad had used APA as the style. And so I knew APA. And I got to South Carolina and they were using Chicago manual style. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking? I've
Help
worked
me with
really
my
hard to learn
citations.
this stuff.
Yeah.
And a resource like this could have been a game changer back then, too.
And let's say this was just talking about the writing aspect of it. Let's say you don't quite grasp some of the concepts that you're talking about with the solar system and your studies in science.
Maybe you have to do the math to say how far apart the planets are using percentages. And, well, clearly I need them to help me with this sentence, but distance.
Right. So there are live tutoring options as well. So there are live tutors. They're available every day from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. All you do is you're going to start all of this at DelawareLibrary.org. You're going to head over to our research tab, and then you're going to click on Brainfuse Help Now.
I bet this cost a lot, Nicole. I bet this cost a lot for me to be able to use.
Well, it's all free with your library card.
It's free?
You can come. You can get in fact, you don't even have to set foot. If you don't have a library card, you don't even have to set foot in a library first.
Start this now.
Go to DelawareLibrary.org. You can go to get a library card. You can get your digital code, and that will even get you access to begin working with Brainfuse. When you go and you click on that live tutoring button, it'll ask you, what grade are you in? What subject are we talking about? What specific questions do you have? You're going to go to a little work screen, and then a live tutor chat is going to pop up with you and say, how can I help you today?
And what if this happens that your kid looks at you Sunday night at 9:30? Are they there to help you Sunday night at 9:30?
Yep. Saturdays and Sundays, they are there. I was just looking at their website. It looks like they are taking the day off on Martin Luther King Day, Monday, January 15th.
Just like us.
Just like us. So you might miss out if you say you have that Tuesday assignment due and you don't remember until Monday. That's going to be a little bit of a problem. But if you remember Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're still there.
Just check in with your kids a little early. What if I am getting ready to take a SAT or ACT, or even what if I am getting ready to take my nursing exam?
Yes. So there are test prep questions available as well. You could go ahead and you could pop on. There's Brainfuse Help Now, and then there's also the Brainfuse Adult Learning Center. And so you can play around between both of those places, and you can see what career tests are available. You can see what test prep is available: GED, SAT, ACT,
TOEFL, the U.S. citizenship test.
Yes.
College placement. What I really like about this too is you take one of the test preps they have and they will do targeted tutoring. So then you can get some real one-on-one tutoring. I know I panicked.
I missed this. Why did I miss this?
Yeah, I panicked on the Ohio proficiency. I thought for sure my freshman year I was going to fail math.
Right.
And I remember doing tutoring for months with my teachers. this would even narrow down to, they tutored me on all of it. This could have narrowed down to those areas I was really struggling.
And if you're listening to this and you're thinking, well, this doesn't necessarily make sense for, maybe my 3rd or 4th grader. There's basic math,
Absolutely.
You could have your 3rd or 4th grader pop in and say, I just want help with math. And then there's a little whiteboard that comes up on the screen. If your child is using a tablet that has a touch screen, they can write on the screen. If they're handy with a mouse, they can also, kind of mouse in some of the things on the whiteboard.
There are even flashcards. There are games. I mean, they've got gamification. They've got one-on-one tutoring.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a hidden gem, Nicole.
Yeah,
this really is.
It's a great resource that it's really, we've got a lot of people taking advantage of, but we want even more to take advantage of.
Yes, we really do.
So we are, and we know it's hard to grasp. When we talk about databases and online research opportunities, it can feel intimidating. And so we're trying to help it feel less intimidating. Next Thursday, January 11th, we are offering a program. It's called Learn About Free Online Student Homework Help.
Yes.
It's a virtual program, and it's 6:30 in the evening. So if you are a parent, if you are an educator, if you're a caregiver of any student, then it's for you.
Or a student yourself trying to find out.
Yeah.
I mean, your 3rd graders probably won't enjoy it, but your college students, I'm really thinking I'm going to talk my nephew into seeing what's on there for him.
Yeah. And so it's going to be at 6:30. We do need you to register because we have to be able to send you the link. It is going to be recorded. And so you will want to register even if you can't make it live, because then we will send you the recording after the fact. But this is one of the ways we've got a speaker from Brainfuse, so it's not going to be me or Molly or anybody else from the library. It's going to be somebody from Brainfuse.
Probably not going to talk about zombies.
Nope.
I mean,
they're going to come and they're going to tell you all about this resource. And the last thing that I'm gonna say about it. So register Thursday, January 11th at 6:30 for this virtual workshop. Is college-bound students. They can help you with your FAFSA.
yes.
So if you are like, what in the world is this FAFSA thing? They can help you with that. They can also help you with your one application. There are usually essays that go along with that. And if you're like, okay, I'm taking this one essay and I'm sending it to about 15 colleges.
Yes.
I want it to be the best. Submit it to the writing lab. So parents, if
or
you're
jump in there
listening-
if you're struggling trying to put it together or figure out what you need to say.
Yeah.
You all have a story, and there's somebody on there to help you get your story.
This is going to be a really great resource for really kids of all ages.
Yes.
So, yeah, that is our plug for next week. That's our plug for Brainfuse. So I hope you're able to make it. We are telling all of our teacher friends about it, but we're just trying to spread the word a little bit. There's a handful of things happening about the branches the rest of the week. Do you have anything that's jumping out at you,
one of
Molly?
the things that has jumped out at me at the end of the year, if you're like me, you're putting up Christmas and you're finding things. I'm finding a lot of VHS and audio cassettes and different things. We have a media conversion demonstration coming up at the Liberty Makerspace. That is going to be on Wednesday, January 10th at 5:30 to 6. Please do... Actually, I don't think we do. Please do register for this one. Go online, get registered for this one. It'll help you see some of those. I mean, this is when you come across those, artists. I know you've got 1,000 little slides that you need to be putting into a digital format. Right. This is the class to show you how to do that. Honestly, if I can figure out how to get myself there, I would probably be there, because I have been finding a lot of digital needs.
It is fun. That one and that one's a great resource that is only available at the Liberty Maker Studio.
Yes.
So there is still room to register for it, and we hope that you'll make it there.
And super timely.
On Tuesday, the Lego Club is back at the Delaware Main Library, 5:45. So get those kiddos from school, shove some food in their faces if you're early eaters or snackers, and then come to the main library at 5:45. We're doing just a free build.
And the last one I really want to push is, if you don't know about this, we have a Buddies, Books, and Bubbles. This is a registered event. It's an inclusive story time for children of all abilities. There is an inclusive event. It's going to be there for everybody. So if for some reason you're uncomfortable bringing your child to story time, we want you to know, bring your child on into story time. They're welcome. They're perfect as they are.
Yeah.
Come Thursday, January 11th. That is at our Delaware branch from 10:30 to 11. Again, register for it just so we can keep the room the right size and comfortable for everybody.
And this is one that we use our partner experts for. So our
Absolutely.
friends at the Delaware County Board of Developmental Disabilities will be on site as experts.
Because we really do believe in using those experts when
Yeah.
we're doing anything.
Yeah.
But come on down to Buddies, Books, and Bubbles.
Nice. Well, Molly, it was a joy to ring in the new year with
Always,
you.
and I'm feeling like I know more of what I'm going to do next now when the zombies show up.
Shove me to the side
I
and
got it.
run for the hills. All right.
Got it.
Well, it's been a joy. Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Gage. And listeners, until next week, we will see you in the stacks.